version 2 of this video. Why version 2, you may ask? Because I always check my videos before they go live. What I do is I upload to private, and then once it's uploaded to private in YouTube, I can watch it, just check that everything's flowing and okay, and you know, I haven't dropped too many F-bombs, stuff like that. And then when I'm happy, I set it to public. Yesterday's video didn't go through that process because I was really busy with my picture book launch and juggling a million balls. And what's really funny is that this video is about the frustrations of a creative life. So they just keep piling on. Anyway, about 11 o'clock at night, I went back to check my YouTube video. I said, oh, I put a video up. Oh God, I haven't checked it. I don't know why, but only 9 minutes of the video went up. And a heap of people had watched it and had lots of likes, and I felt really terrible because I thought they must think I'm like, I don't know, such a tight ass. 9 minutes, you know, the idea of this channel is always about relaxation, and you know, I don't think I've ever done a 9-minute video. So anyway, what follows is the proper full version of the video. So if it feels familiar to you, it's only the first 9 minutes. All right, let's try again and let's see how we go. All right, thanks for watching. Bye. Hi there. We got a package from Amazon. Good morning. I'm in the studio painting, and I remember hearing someone on a podcast once talk about, you know, when a painting's not going well, the poke and prod phase. So I'm painting and prodding on this particular, it's only a little painting, and it's not going well, and it hasn't been going well. Like, I've been picking it up and putting it down for over a year, but it is such a gift because it's teaching me so much. So I love that. I love that the more mistakes you make, the more, you know, errors of judgment, then trying to learn how to fix those errors of judgment is such a huge part of the learning process. So it's really, really good. It's a gift, this little painting. So I'm working on that, and then I am going to go down and get some flowers soon. So I'll take you with me when I go and do that. We have someone who sells their own flowers from their garden locally, and I haven't bought from her before, but every time I drive past, I think I need to, it's like a little hut out the front of the house. Every time I drive past, I think I must drop in and get some garden flowers from there, and then I can bring them home and draw them, because I need a lot of practice with painting flowers. And there's something that, you know, they're just so expressive and so much fun, but I haven't taken enough time to sit and draw flowers for extended periods. I did do a lot of lilies about a year ago, which was really, really fun. I experimented with lots of different materials. But I haven't made it a regular part of my art practice, and I really do want to be able to have a reference library of flowers in my head, just like I have a fairly good reference library now of animals and trees. I want to build up a reference library of flowers, and for me, the only way to do that is repetition over and over and over and over and over again until till my library is stocked. So I'll take you with me when I get the flowers. All right.
For fun?
Pantry made here.
Alright.
7630.
Good.
Thank you.
This is my wife.
Hello.
Alright.
How are you? Good.
Thank you.
It's very hard to.
Is there numbers on there?
What is that?
Is there
So
numbers?
that's a number. It's like a raffle ticket.
Right?
It's like a raffle ticket. So they will do the draw after selling all the numbers.
Alright.
Yeah. So
Why, is there numbers
that's
on there?
a single number.
Is there where?
Yeah. This one.
Alright.
That's a number.
Alright. No worries.
That's a lucky number. Really for me.
$5.70. Alright, thank you.
Okay, I got it in her studio right at the last minute. There was one behind the counter. It's an old one from last year that I didn't have. That was being held for someone who didn't pick it up. Because I thought all I was going to end up with was the paper, which was a bit disappointing. So I got it in her studio. Yay! All right, I'm going to go out now and see if I can find some flowers. Hopefully she's open. What time is it? I don't know, can't see. 11 o'clock I think in the morning. So let's see. Best laid plans, hey. I didn't have any cash. Like, I had $5 in my coin purse. I thought I had a whole heap of cash in my wallet. I don't know if David's taken it. Anyway, so much for my flower plan. So I'm heading home now to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll just have to, all my roses are dead. I'll have to get inventive and paint something else, won't I? Okay. Something of a schmozzle here. Oh, there goes the timer. Second tray has to come out of the oven now. Oh, she stopped without me telling her. That's cool. Cool. She's getting better, Google Home. Yum, they smell so good. There's more in the oven. Coconut biscuits. So these ones were, this is the littler tray. So they all sprawled and grew together. I didn't have any self-raising flour, so my proportions were probably wrong trying to make my own self-raising flour. But it's worked out okay. So this first batch were the right shape and size, but this second batch is a bit weird. But I just used my spatula, you know, what is it, egg flipper thing, to cut them all while they were hot. And they'll be fine. And then written that I need to get another. So this has reminded me to put on my blackboard that I need another tray, another biscuit tray, because this one's too little. I need another big one. So, and I just keep forgetting to grab one when I'm out. So I've written on my blackboard, my kitchen blackboard, to get another biscuit tray and also a new mixing bowl because I broke my favourite one that I bought like 40 years ago when I was nursing, and it stood me very well that bowl, but I broke it. So new one in order. But I might go to, there's some great secondhand shops here, and I love getting really old china bowls for mixing. They're my favourite. Okay, I'm actually recording, so that's a good start. It's been one of those days, honestly. You know how they say everything I touch turns to gold? Well, everything I touch does not turn to gold today. But let's see how this goes. It's so nice to reconnect with you. So I'm just going to drop in and just say hello and see what happens as I sit here and talk to you. I've recorded earlier, but it was all up the putt. And that's how the day's been going. And so I failed to get flowers because I didn't plan it properly and have enough cash in my wallet. I didn't check until I got there and then realised I had $5. I went to get a magazine and couldn't get a magazine, but finally got one from August last year, so that was good. I insisted on prodding and poking at this little painting that I've been working on forever, and even though I started out the day being very zen about it, I did get to the point where I absolutely hate it. I just want to vomit on it. So that's out. That painting is done. It has served its purpose. It has taught me heaps of things, and no more. I'm not going to work on it anymore. I've learned all the lessons I need to learn from it, and I need to move on, which is a thing that you learn when you work in the creative field for a long time. You know, you learn, I think, when to give up, and you know, when you learn to discern when giving up is a good thing and when giving up is actually just, you know, it's just a reaction to feeling sorry for yourself or feeling defeated or being fearful. Those sorts of things can make you give up. But when you give up because something's just crap and you actually know it is, that can be take a few years to get to that point when you can recognize that. And it's the same with writing. I've got lots of half-written stories, particularly a lot of picture books that I have worked on over the years and have realized that they are, you know, there's a point where you just go, this idea was alluring, but what I've done with this idea is not good, and I cannot fix it, and I cannot make it better, and I'm wasting my time and my energy, and it's getting demoralizing. All right, so there's a point with, and why I say picture books is because they're very seductive, because they're only basically around 500 words, and we kind of feel like we should be able to do it. We should be able to just write the story. The trick is that that's actually harder. It's actually harder to tell a story in fewer words, and a story that has to have so much structure overlaid over it. Because it's a picture book, it has to follow all sorts of different standards and structures and just not, I don't want to say rules, but it just has to follow certain rhythms and patterns. I'm talking about picture books because at the moment they're on my mind. You know, I'm running my 4 weeks to write a picture book course, online course, next month, and so I'm in the middle of a little campaign around that. So if you're interested in writing picture books, you know, you're probably, or hopefully you're on my mailing list, and you'll get all the material and all the sales emails and all the, you know, when the cart's open and all that sort of stuff, that will come through to you. I don't talk about this stuff much on this channel because, I don't know, I don't want this channel to be about, you know, you feeling like I'm selling to you. But on the other side, I do have an online business, and I am really proud of it, and I love it. And I also I'm so up for other women entrepreneurs, you know, selling their wares. Like, why not? I don't find it anything offensive about it. And I don't find it to be, you know, reductive in any way. Like if I watch a video and then someone says, and this video is sponsored by blah, blah, blah. I mean, we all have to turn the lights on. You know, we all have to feed our kids and ourselves. I have no issue with anyone selling anything online or within the context of their videos. I think it's great. I mean, seriously, how great is it that as a creative, we can now create businesses, we can create our own little economy to support us in our creative practice. So, you know, for me, I have multiple income streams. It's how I survive. There's no way that I survive on the royalties from my books. You know, that's just not going to happen. So I have to invent other ways to make a living, and I can now, right? I'm a child of the 60s. I started work in the 70s. I know what it is to do a job when your personality and your proclivities and your energy levels are not up for it. You know, when we used to have to go to work. You know, when I was nursing, we had a 5 to 2 shift. We'd have to be at work at 5 a.m. and we worked right through till 2. And they would often give you a late shift before that 5 to 2 because they just made their own rules in those days. So you could easily work till, you could do till knock off at 11 the night before and have to be back on shift at 5. This was crazy shit, right? So and that's the extreme, of course. But, you know, I remember in my very first job in a shoe shop, we weren't allowed to sit down for the whole 8 hours. Oh, we were allowed to sit down for lunch. We had to not be seen and we had to go somewhere and have lunch. The boss used to sit down. He used to sit behind the cash register, but us gals, we had to be on our feet for the whole 8 hours. Just silly shit like that, right? So now we have all these opportunities to be entrepreneurial and to build our own businesses and to build businesses that not only support us while we create the things that we want to create, but they can also support other creatives. So that's what I do with Girl and Duck. That's what Girl and Duck is all about. It's about community. So I run a membership. It's quite small this year. Sometimes some years it's been bigger. This year there's about 70 people in there and it's so lovely. It's really cozy. It's really low key, really low cost. And I just hold space for all these other creatives and we do little things and we have group coaching. Twice a month I do a group coaching thing where we get together for an hour in Zoom, talk about our creative projects, talk about our writing or our knitting or whatever it is that we're working on. We do lots of little things in there within that community, and that community is also about encouraging other creatives to share, to sell, to be visible, to learn about all these sorts of things, to get comfortable with them. I mean, we can learn about visibility and stuff like that early in our careers. We can learn about it, but putting it into practice is much more long term, especially for most creatives, because most of us are really introverted and we don't feel comfortable with putting ourselves out there. And this whole label of self-promotion makes us feel really uncomfortable. And so it should, because it's actually not self-promotion. That's the wrong word. We're not out there promoting ourselves as a human. We're out there promoting our work, sharing our work. Right? So I'm very passionate about these kinds of things and helping other creatives to get comfortable. You don't have to love it, but it is part of the whole thing is sharing what you're working on and sharing your stuff and letting people know where your stuff's available. So winding it back to, you know, why I don't share much on this channel. It's not because I'm ashamed of it or I don't want to sell or I don't want it to be about that. It's just that I haven't really thought about it much, to be honest. You know, I've been doing this online business in Girl and Duck for 10, 11 years. So I'm kind of used to it. So I'm not really rah hustle. I'm past those few years. And so this has just been a little, almost like a hobby for me, like a relaxation thing. But sometimes, of course, what I'm working on in terms of my business will spill into this, and then I'll be excited to tell those of you who are, excited about this sort of stuff and interested in learning how to write a picture book or how to write junior fiction, whatever course I might be running at that time, I will always mention it in here and let you know what's going on. So that's been happening. But yeah, so today has been one of those days where I had a loose plan in my head about what I had to do, and then, it just hasn't really flowed. So I just thought it'd be really nice to share that with you. I'm going to insert, may have already done that, where I made some biscuits. I didn't make those biscuits today. We're still eating them, but I didn't make those today. But yeah, I kind of feel like it'd be nice to just get in the kitchen. It's only 24 degrees today, and do some baking, but we actually have the biscuit tins are full at the moment. Sometimes baking I find really, really grounding, and I can really think my way through what I have to do. But yeah, it's just, I think there's opportunities that we have now for those of us who really flourish in a self-directed way. We like to, for instance, I hated school. I just did not have a good time at school. I loved university. I absolutely thrived in university because it was self-directed, because I could come and go as I pleased, because I could call the shots. And so I just really blossomed in that kind of environment. And again, this is what having an online business has done for me. It's allowed me to call the shots in my days. So if I'm not feeling it some days, then I won't do anything much constructive, and then the next day I'll work like a Trojan all hours, to get things done. So I can manage my time, I can manage my energy, and yeah, there's risks involved. I wouldn't say it's not a precarious way to live financially, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm so grateful that we do have these opportunities to create multiple income streams and to finance our dreams in this really, like, we just go and sit in front of a camera and talk to our people, or send an email and say, I'm opening, so I do life coaching, life/creativity coaching too, and I don't do it as a rule. I don't have rules around how often I do it. Just when I feel the urge, I'll open up 6 places, and we will have one-on-one consults, and I will help people with where they're stuck or what they're grappling with, or and they can be quite spiritual, those conversations as well, because I think that there's a really strong link between creativity and spirituality. I just can't, the older I get, the less I'm able to separate them. I think they're flip sides of the same coin. I just feel so strongly that the human, the little human, your little human that you own and that you're operating at the moment, is not the one that's creating. It's spirit creating via you, via your little human. And so you can't really separate the two of them. Anyway, this is getting deep and philosophical. I've been listening to Alan Watts this morning because I love Alan Watts. I don't know if you know him, philosopher. I think probably call him a Taoist philosopher. Back in I don't know, when did he die? He didn't live that long, actually. I think he was only in his 50s when he died. Maybe in the 60s or 70s, but he was incredibly clever, and I love his, there's lots of YouTube videos out there of his talks and seminars and lectures and stuff, and he was talking today about the old analogy of being like a river and learning to flow, and that no matter what you think, your life is flowing. And I was thinking about that just this morning in my own little world. He was using the analogy of how a river will, when it comes to rocks, it will either flow over them or around them, or in some cases it will sit up against the rock for 1,000 years years until it can go through the rock. And yeah, I'm having a up against the rock kind of day to day with just, you know, the painting that I was being so zen about. You know, I got to the point where now I absolutely hate it and it's over and it's done with, and I will not look at it ever again. I've learned my lessons from it. So yeah, anyway, I think I'll leave it there and say goodbye. I was going to move these videos to fortnightly, but I feel like that's too long between drinks, and so even if I just come on like this and just chat to you, I think it's better than no video and silence. It's like, you know, the weekly phone call that you know that we used to get from our parents in the old days. Yeah, I think that's what this video is all about. It's the weekly phone call from me to you. I hope you're well wherever you are, and I hope that you are safe. And yeah, leave a comment, say hello if you feel free, if you feel like you want to. Always here if you read. I read all the comments. I reply to all of them as well. Yeah, and have a great week, and I'll see you again soon.